Hey everybody, this is Claire, and this is Small Joyful Things. As always, I go out to thrift stores, estate sales, and I sometimes buy things from Craigslist, although like not so much right now, obviously, with the whole, pandemic thing. And I try to find out as much as I can about them, and then I tell you guys about them. So here's what I got for you today. I've got something surprisingly topical for you, considering what, current events in the US or whatever. I have this rather patriotic piece. I want to say you can see the eagle there. I mean, that's definitely like an American eagle. It's got that little shield there in front of it, and it's got the stars and everything down here. Completely unmarked, as is usual for, thrift store stuff. I bought this in a thrift store for $4 Canadian. I basically picked it up because I thought that it was interesting. I saw that big eagle on it, and I thought, that's something. Like, it had the look of this is old glass. And there was only one, obviously, there was only one of these, I couldn't find any others. I'm not sure if that was a mistake or not. I just decided to pick it up because I thought, this is going to be something worth talking about. And of course, hey, it's topical. Anyway, so what have we actually got here? What we have is it's a piece by Smith Glass, or well, I mean, everybody would know them, I think, as L.E. Smith. L.E. Smith was another glass company. It's another depression glass company. They would have started around the 1900s, and as far as I know, they're still around today. They still make stuff. I think they're called Smith Glass now. They would have been far more well known again for depression glass. A lot of their patterns then would be very popular, but again, this isn't a piece from the Depression era. It's quite hard sometimes to find real Depression era from like the 30s in Vancouver. Obviously, we're over here on the West Coast. So which one is this one? This is called the Eagle pattern from Smith Glass, and my best guess is that it was produced sometime in the 1970s. But that's really it. Like, I've got nothing better than that, because unfortunately I can't find a record of Smith Glass actually making this particular pattern in blue. So I'll show you what I've got. So here we go, L.E. Smith, and we're looking for the Blue Eagle pattern. One of the interesting things to note about this, and I've forgotten to measure it up. Forget my own head. There we go, 6 1/4 inches high, and about 4 inches across. And we'll just pretend that I didn't forget to do that completely. Anyway, so here's our glass. What have we got? So here we go, the L.E. Smith, the Blue Eagle stuff. Now this obviously was an entire dinnerware set. You could find plates and everything. Now the interesting thing, this is not a glass. You can see that it's got this curved out lip here, and the actual goblet or the glass or whatever for L.E. Smith in this particular pattern, the Blue Eagle and Stars, it doesn't look like that. It's got this, it's curved straight up. Because, I mean, when you think about it, this would probably be a little bit tricky to drink out of, in my opinion anyway. So what have we actually got? If you actually take a look at this, this is actually what we've got. It is a covered candy dish with a lid. And unfortunately, we're missing the lid. Sigh. Anyway, if we just take a quick look. Here's kind of an example of the actual carnival glass. Bearing in mind as well, carnival glass would have been made in kind of 2 different eras. It would be like in like the early 20th century, which is kind of true carnival glass. Depression or whatever. The 1970s kind of like the remake, the revival of it. And so this is basically where I'm getting the date for this pattern. Now, just to be sure, this is replacements.com. And by and large, if I'm looking at a particular dinnerware set and I want to find out a little bit more information about it, not art glass, by the way, specifically dinnerware where someone might be looking for a whole set, replacements.com has an awful lot of information about the actual sets themselves. Like if I just take a look at Smith Glass, they have the different pieces, and a lot of the time they have them by patterns, and they will tell you like exactly when, like if something's discontinued or when it was produced, and that's really useful information. And it gives you kind of a lot of a kind of visual reference as well. So if you know kind of roughly what a pattern is, you can get more information about it from here. And considering how much of this stuff is you can find online, and there's quite a lot of it, there is none at all on replacements.com. And that does not make me feel good. I'm just going to say now, like, replacements.com has no mention of this pattern in this blue glass. That's bad. Now, the reason that I'm feeling bad about this is that if you can see here, that I can't tell if that is actually a crack or if it's actual production value issues, but even on the inside you can see as well, there are some quite nasty manufacturing defects on this one. Like the mold line there is fairly heavy. Some of the detail is not great. It's like the quality is not good. That is very worrying. I was actually picking this up, and like after I got it home and I did some research on it and I started looking at it as closely as I could, I kind of think that this could possibly be a copy, a reproduction, or basically someone just, you know, someone's just been faking old glass, because this would not be the first time I found this. You know, I have found a few goblets that I haven't actually done a video on because I don't really care to. They're not that interesting. But they would have been copied from another, like someone took a vintage piece basically and then cast it and then made a mold and used that to produce more pieces like it, except that it's obviously in much rougher shape. It doesn't look like it has the correct finish, and it's just kind of like, you know, this, you're going to buy nicer stuff in IKEA. Let's be clear. So I can't really decide if this is a fake or not. I'm just quite worried about the fact that there's so much of it here and everyone's calling it Ellie Smith, but replacements.com has none of this. Like, I would have to do some research to be sure. I'm quite worried about it. I have been trying to decide what I'm going to do with it, and I think I'm probably going to stick it on a shelf and ignore it for now, because I just can't decide. Unless I know for sure that this is the real deal, I'm probably not going to put it up anywhere. I may just donate it back to a thrift store. So the other question as well is, how much is this actually worth? And to be honest, that's kind of tricky. Like, if we go to, let's see what PicLink says. PicLink, if you've never seen this, kind of it's like a visual search essentially for eBay. Yeah, $20 US if you've got the lid. And obviously I don't have the lid. So I bought this for $4 Canadian. I'm probably going to be out my money just because I didn't recognize the pattern. I didn't know this is supposed to have a lid, and obviously it doesn't have it. And if it had the lid, it would probably be kind of nice. And sure, you know, there you go, $20 US. This one, by the way, was actually sold in 2018 for $20 in US. So, you know, this could probably be worth that as well. It's just a shame that, you know, it doesn't have a lid, maybe a fake. Not great production value anyway. So, I don't know. This one's a weird one. I hope it's interesting, and to be honest, even if it is a fake, I do find this really interesting to see, because old glassware is just fascinating to me. So I hope that you like it as well. You gonna stay? You gonna stay? Okay. Thanks very much for watching, guys. This is my small joyful thing. I hope you enjoyed the video.